Hey y'all, I thought we'd go ahead and take the snowman thing that we made yesterday to another level, and today we're going to make Santa Claus gnomes. Aren't they adorable? I thought they were adorable. Stay tuned, let's go on and take a look at the tutorial. Hey peeps, it's JJ with Baby Girl Crafting, and today we are going to make Santa Claus gnomes. Isn't he just cute as a button? So let me go ahead and show you what we need to get started with this project. So to get started with this project, we're going to need some rice. It doesn't really matter what type of rice you use. I'm using just the cheapest one that they had at the store. So rice, and then you're going to want some white socks. I'm using athletic socks or full cushion crew socks. I haven't decided. I want to see these ones are thinner, these ones are a lot thicker. I wanted to see how they worked. Just to compare, I got those at the dollar. I got the socks at the Dollar Tree. 2 pair for $1. Then we're also going to want some decorative socks, and they didn't really have Christmas stuff out yet, but I did find 1 pair of red socks, which is perfect for what we need. So I got those. These are those Snugadoo, super soft, like stretchy socks. So I got a pair of those. You want to make sure with these that you do not get the ones with the slick, the skid resistant on the bottom. You do not want that. It just will look funny. And then I saw these and I just absolutely loved them, so I thought these would work out really good too and add some character. So we're going to use those. We're going to need some of these elastics that I got from the Dollar Tree. But also with that, we also want some like embroidery floss, just because it's going to make it stronger so the rice doesn't fall out. So string would work. I just had embroidery floss on hand, so that's what I got. We'll also need a pair of scissors and a glue gun. You could use regular glue, like fabric glue, if you really want to, but this is faster. I do have some fabric glue because I like fabric glue. Then we want some embellishments. So we also need something for the beard for Santa, and they have those really expensive fabrics that you can get, the furs and stuff, but I don't want to spend that much money. So I found this. It's a super soft microfiber cloth at the dollar store. This one, however, is off-white, and I don't really want to use an off-white one. I did find a white one at a different dollar store, but I didn't buy it. I actually got this just so I could show you guys what I was talking about. What I am going to be using is this. And this is a body pillow cover that I picked up at the thrift store. And it's all fuzzy on this side, and this side is layered, so it can give me 2 different options for my beard, depending on what look I want to go with. So that's what we're going to use. You're going to want some black ribbon, and I picked this up at the dollar store. It is 6 yards, or 5.5 meters, and it was for $1. And we'll want that because for his belt, to make him look cute. And then I just have this candy cane striped. See if that'll help. This candy cane striped ribbon. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but I thought it was cute. And then I got these little character buttons that I thought maybe. We'll see. So whatever you have in your stash is really good. You can just kind of pull it out because these are yours. You're going to make them your own, and everyone kind of turns out a little different. So that's what we need to get started with this project. So let me clear this off and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the sock. What we're actually going to do is, there's 2 parts to the sock. And we'll go ahead and cut this. We're going to cut it right here at the heel. I'm not a big fan of using the actual heel, so you'll see that I don't really care. I just kind of cut it off, make it more straight. And we use, if you saw my snowman video, we use this to make the snowman. So we don't waste the other part of the sock. We're going to make a gnome, the gnome out of this part. And to do that, we need to turn it inside out. Whew! Those socks are fluffy on the inside. And we're going to kind of bunch this up at the bottom. Forgot to pull out my rubber bands, sorry. pull out a couple rubber bands. We'll use 2. Oh, it's not gonna matter what color they're. Not on the gnomes. So I take the rubber band and I twist it on there fairly tight. But again, I don't assume that that little rubber band's going to hold that. So I take some thread. And that's for another thing, so we'll take some green. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to not tie a knot on this side. We're going to pull it really tight, flip it over 80 degrees, and then we are going to tie a knot on this side. Then if you have enough string, I would tie a few more knots. I like to tie it till I can't tie them anymore, but then that kind of depends on the size string you have. Because if you have a really long piece, you don't need to put in 40 knots. The idea here is that this is going to keep the rice inside the sock. Rubber bands degrade over time much faster than thread, so that's why I kind of do both. The rubber band is a quick fix to the problem, so that it'll hold it in place while I tie the knots with the thread. We are then going to turn it right side out, and that's what our bottom kind of looks like, and that will actually be the bottom of the gnome. And I'm going to show you another way of putting the rice in. You put it over the top of whatever cup you're using. I'm just using a green cup. You could use any cup or mason jar or something. And then you just kind of dump the rice in it this way. But you got to hold the sock on. And then bounce it. Careful taking it off. Okay. So it's in there, but I still want it bounced more. It's easier to bounce it when you let it hit the table. Okay. So that's pretty good. So then we're going to take our other rubber band and wrap it around the top. Now you don't want it overfull with rice because we do want to pinch it. And we're going to make a nose. But first we're going to tie this off. And again, get some green thread. I'm just using random thread. You don't, or this is embroidery floss. You don't want to use like sewing thread. You want to use string or like embroidery floss, something that has a little bit of endurance to it, because this is holding in all that rice. So I tie a knot, and again tying quite a few little knots here. You can snip this thread if it's long if you want to. It's not going to be seen, so sometimes I don't. So there's our gnome. Now what we need is I'm going to need another rubber band, and I'm going to use a white one, just personal preference. And kind of right in the middle here, a little high, we're going to grab a big ball of rice. I know you can't really see what I'm doing. See how I got that big ball of rice kind of right there? So my camera died, and then I had to get on an airplane, so we're now finishing up this video in a completely different area. But I wanted to pick up where we left off. What I did here is I put the elastic around the nose, and then I tied it with some of my embroidery floss and tied it off. This is going to get covered, so you can use whatever color you want. I just did red because we're going to be putting red on this guy. So, kind of form him again. He's been in my suitcase. You have no idea how much fun it is to go through security with a sock full of rice. But I wanted to show you what we do next. So the next thing we do is we take our sock. This is a red fluffy sock I got from the Dollar Tree. And I do not have regular scissors. All I have is my little snips. So this is going to take just a moment for me to snip it, but we're going to cut it right here. And this will make his little outfit and his hat. I would strongly recommend using scissors because using the snips left a very unclean cut, but we can work with this. So what we're gonna do is this top part with the hood or with the top is gonna be his hat. We're gonna set this aside for a moment. We're gonna go ahead and use the top part of the sock, and that's gonna be his outfit. And because it's such a rough cut right here, I'm going to put it on so that it's a clean cut at the bottom. And just kind of pull it up because it's going to get covered. And you want it to fit right up there around that nose. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do some decorating down here. And I got some black ribbon, and this is for his belts. Now this part right here is not going to be seen, so that's where we're going to glue it. But I'm just measuring to see how much I need. And yours will differ based on how much rice you put in your sock. So that's why I'm not telling you an exact amount. All right. Now we're going to take our handy dandy glue gun, which thank goodness my niece has one. I have to move this over here because it's not a very long cord. Put a little glue on this edge and just kind of center it right about there and make it even and get rid of the strings. And I cut it just a little big. He's kind of misshapen. He's kind of misshapen just a little bit, and I made it just a little longer than I want it. All right, now we're going to put some glue right here. And just glue that down. Now, if you really want to get creative, I had some little tinsel pieces, and you can form a belt loop right here. You know, or a belt clasp, and get really creative with this. But let me show you how that looks. I mean, it's really cute, but it's going to get covered. So once the beard is on, the only way you'd see it is if you lifted up the beard. So I chose not to put it on this guy, but I wanted to show you that that was a possibility. All right, and you can glue the belt down, which I think in this case I'm going to, just a little bit so it doesn't slide. All right, and I have a blue fuzzy for my snowman. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put on his beard. Now what I did is basically cut out a square, and then I curved the edges, and I put a little notch in here. I actually just folded it in half and snipped a triangle for his beard because we want it to go up around his nose. And you want the square to go, I mean, however long you want his body, if you want to go all the way down to the bottom of his body, which I kind of did. So we're going to kind of move this camera over here. Alright, so you can see as I'm gluing what I'm doing. And all I'm going to do is put Santa up there. Got all these little glue strings. I'm used to my glue gun, which is a high temp, and this is a low temp. So it doesn't really matter which one you use. But I'm going to put on a lot of glue. I don't want it to cool before I get it on him. And then we're going to come over here and place it where it needs to go. Just kind of straighten it out. Okay, now one of the things I didn't do, and I'm seeing this, is I didn't glue down the sock, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down the sock. Because it does want to ride, and sometimes it does. Those socks are kind of have a mind of their own. They kind of do. put some over there. Just to glue it down a little bit. This is more just to keep it in place so it doesn't have to be all pretty. It's not going to be seen. Okay, so now I just put some glue in there. And he has a fuzzy, fuzzy beard. And you can glue, like I said, you can glue the beard down. And because I didn't put the buckle on, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little glue there. Just to kind of reinforce holding the beard on. Next we have our hat. And the hat is so much fun. So we're going to go ahead and place our hat on. Alright, so you can see that I've just put the hat on. Now you want this hat to fit right up against that nose, so I am going to glue that down. So I'm going to go in here and put some glue in here, right above the nose, and we are going to just push that sock right on in there. And I'm going to glue the sides down too. I'm struggling with this very short cord and not being left-handed. And I am gonna just, and you can just, you know, see that right, you can't really see, but right here it is, let's see, not straight. And if I had scissors, I'd fix it. But since I don't have scissors, I'm just gonna glue it down. And it blends in more or less. The nice thing about this is you can make it your own. And we're gonna kind of add some stuff to it anyway. So Santa's hat has always got that fluffy brim. So this is the strip that I took from that pillow cover. And I'm going to run it around. And I want it to glue in the back. So I'm going to start right here and kind of just go around. And I want just a little bit of the red showing. Just to contrast with the beard. So we can see where it splits. All right. More glue. I'm not used to all the fuzzies that are, I'm not used to all the strings that are coming off the glue gun. I don't usually get those from my glue gun. All right. Now you can do that with the same thing you use the beard for, just to give that Santa trim, you know, that Santa hat trim to it. I just had this and I thought this was a really awesome idea. And I am gluing it all the way down, all the way around. Coming back up the other side. Oh wait, I forgot. I need to cut it. See what I mean about this? These things, they're just not really good at cutting. They're great when I'm doing my yarn projects. All right. And then we're going to bring this one back here, and it needs to cut right about there. And I could have measured this. That might make it easier next if you're doing it to pre-measure about what size you need. Again, it's going to be different for everybody because it really depends on what fabric you end up using and how much rice is in your sock. Oops, need another glue stick. Sorry about it, it's kind of off screen. Give me some glue. Awesome. Sorry. moving all my little glue strings away. All right, so as you can see, we don't really need eyes because we've covered it up, and that's kind of the gnome. You can see how that looks. It's not completely straight right there. We can tuck that back up under there. All right, so that looks better. This is our Santa Gnome. Then what we're gonna do for the top is we're just gonna kind of bunch it and pull it down to the side. And you don't have to glue it, you can just let it hang. So many different options, but I have chosen to glue it down. Oops. And just kind of bunch it. So you can see how mine looks. Now, one thing you can do is to put a white pom-pom. I thought I would do something different this time and put a little jingle bell. This is a bell that I got in one of my subscription kits. Now I'm drawing a blank which one. But it was a cute little addition that they sent us and I liked it. I'm just going to hold it there for a moment, let it cool, so it'll stay. So there you go. We have a Santa Gnome that has a jingle bell. Oops. And you have to watch when you're cutting up your fuzzy fabric, it depending, even the furs and stuff like that, they tend to shed a little bit. So the socks do too. All right, so let me know what you guys think about this fun project. I had a lot of fun coming up with them. And I do have some more ideas coming up for the different holidays that I will do when it gets closer. I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. Stay tuned for more tutorials and unboxings on my channel. And until next time, later peeps!